singles women's non-title match at a WrestleMania besides the one from WrestleMania 22 from 2006?
Yes, I found one between Charlotte and Asuka just like a few years ago,
And it was a non-title match.
and it was a non-title match.
Are you sure? Because there was people in the comments saying that it was a
That
title
wasn't a
match.
non-title match. Asuka won the Royal Rumble
Okay.
because that's the same year Shinsuke goes against AJ Styles because they both won the Rumble that year. Shinsuke and Asuka both won. Shinsuke faces AJ, kicks him in the balls because he can't beat him, and turns heel. And Asuka faces Charlotte, and they put Charlotte over Asuka because that pissed everybody off that they had Asuka lose.
And that was a title match, Blood.
Yeah, that was because Asuka won the Royal Rumble. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, so Google has betrayed me. Gotcha.
Google betrayed you, buddy. That's the only time Asuka's ever been in a one-on-one match in WrestleMania for a
Okay.
So
title.
Google has betrayed me. Gotcha.
So then Soto from the 619 might be right about this then, because and the match that happened at WrestleMania 22 wasn't even like a serious match. It was like one of those bra and panties. They had a bed in the middle of the ring and they were doing a pillow fight type match. That was the last time two women had a singles match, non-title match at a WrestleMania. Fast forward 19
Uh,
years later, Jade Cargill and Naomi are going to break that uh, record, I guess you can call it. And I think with that, I think it's safe to say not just that, but two African American women to have a singles non-title match at a WrestleMania. Is that right?
yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yes, because Sasha and Bianca were the first two black women in history to go one-on-one for a championship. But this will be the first time two black women in Mania will go one-on-one without a championship on the line. So
Oh yeah.
that is historic in that fact. Yes,
And
this will be the
remember,
second time these two women have done this.
Sasha and Bianca main evented WrestleMania.
Yes, yes,
I just
that's
want to make
also
that
why
clear.
it was a huge point of history.
Yeah.
So the 22 match you said, Snug, the bra and panties, the bed. That's back when Vince was booking and the snow, quote unquote, was pure. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus. All right. Yeah. Um. So that's the only reason why I wanted to bring this up. We can move on. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens. Oh man. I feel bad for him, man. I know we're not supposed to feel bad, but it's Kevin Owens. He announced that he's been suffering with neck issues the last 4 months, and they finally found out what was wrong with him, and he's going to need neck surgery. And this just gave me bad flashbacks to, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Austin, and all these people that just were not the same anymore after their neck surgeries and, their battles with getting cleared. Some doctors will clear them, some doctors won't. Can I come back?
And
Can I
then you
not come
have
back?
people like Big E that still has yet to fully come back.
Big E's another one too. So this is serious, you guys. This is serious. Some people are saying that we probably might not see Kevin Owens come back at all ever again. And that is heartbreaking, you guys. The match, obviously, versus Randy Orton got canceled. I thought this was going to be just like a storyline that they were going to tell somehow or something. But no, this seemed very real. Kevin Owens came out, broke the news. People were sad about it. This was reality hitting everyone. Unfortunately, Randy Orton came out right after that, and he was upset because now Kevin doesn't get to be in the ring at WrestleMania with Randy. Randy doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. Nick Aldis was the one to tell Randy, "Hey, sorry, buddy, but you're shit out of luck. You don't have a match at WrestleMania." Randy Orton RKO'd Nick Aldis tonight on Smackdown, and I mean, maybe we could still see Randy Orton at WrestleMania versus Nick Aldis, but I think BT, I think you're first this time, BT, and then Mr. Blood. So what did you think about all this?
All right. I wish I was first for a different segment, but I'll take this very quickly. I'm on behalf of the Snug Wrestling Podcast. I'll be the first one to wish Kevin Owens a speedy recovery. We're very sorry that you, of all people, Kevin Owens, when you still had so much stories left to tell. Unfortunately, stuff like this comes out of nowhere, and we don't know how to prepare for it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how to prepare for when my mother had a stroke, but she's been fucking instrumental over 4 years, 5 years even, since that's happened. Mm-hmm. So all I can say is whenever things... this is like an inspirational quote, basically. Whenever things that happen to you that is unplanned, always try your best to, one, not give up and pull a John Cena, and two, to always stay positive. Always stay positive. That's the number one thing that I always had to learn. So, again, wishing Kevin Owens a speedy recovery. We're hoping the surgery goes well. I just wish it wasn't at the time of WrestleMania. I just immediately got flashbacks of the torn triceps from CM Punk after the Royal Rumble. Like, this was a match that I was really looking forward to, and it really sucks that that this has happened to him, including all of the high bumps that he took and all of that. Like, even the bump that he took at the Royal Rumble with Cody in that ladder match as well. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not surprised that if it was to pop up, that most of the bumps that he took in that match in particular, was what legit made that damage even worse. I would not be surprised at all, because this man is basically I don't want to call him fat, but he's basically a bigger version of Jeff Hardy, basically. He puts his body on the line millions of times in indie matches, Extreme Rules matches, ladder matches, and all of that. And we fully appreciate you, buddy. So,
let me get something straight, BT. I know you're being serious right now, but let me be a little bit not serious, okay?
Okay, here we go.
So you wouldn't dare to call Kevin Owens fat, but when it comes to Liv Morgan, she's the every single bitch and every single word in the vocabulary.
Yes! Because she is fucking annoying!
Okay. All right. I just had to throw that out there, but go ahead, finish your thoughts, and then we can move on to Mr. Blood.
Yeah. So anyway,
Kevin Owens is fat as fuck. We all know
it. Fuck off! Now
go
back
ahead
to the serious shit.
Incorrect. He's not fat. He is husky.
He's not fat. He's fluffy.
There's nothing wrong
with that.
He's not
fat. He's fluffy.
He's a successful fat wrestler. Good for him.
Oh my god. Hey, at least he's not fat like Samoa Joe. Come on now. Jesus.
There's nothing wrong with that. All right.
Anyway. Okay. Anyway.
Can we move past this, please?
Okay. Anyway. Again, speedy recovery, Kevin. Thank you for everything you've done over the years, and we hope to see you back soon.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Blood.
I'm going to be the first to say this. It's bullshit. So, look, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to come right out and say it. This is bullshit. It's an injury angle. It's not real. This is 100% a fucking work. And I'll tell you why. First off, think of every single injury, every single time a wrestler's actually been injured and came out to address the crowd. Did the kayfabe fake general manager come out to let the crowd know about the serious situation happening here. No, they let the actual wrestler come out and address the crowd themselves to have a one on all emotional interaction with the fans, say goodbye. Also, did they ever, in a serious injury section, have their opponent interrupt the end of their exit, come out and sell the disappointment and the regret, come down the ring, and then linger the camera on Randy Orton's face for so long with him just doing this?
Mick Foley and Finn Balor.
And then on top of that, why would you end such a serious segment with Randy RKOing that same GM? If it's so serious, if it's so real, why are you in the? Why is Nick Aldis there to eat an RKO? Why is Randy out there to have a passing glance? You know why? It's so Randy can let his guard down, and Kevin's gonna sneak attack him next week or the week after, leading up to Mania or in the go home show with SmackDown, and he's gonna have him try to take him out right before Mania because he doesn't want to eat the punt. I'd also like to note the fact that it just so happens 2 weeks before Mania, because how many times have wrestlers wrestled through devastating injuries for months all the way up until Mania and then left after? Seth Rollins last year, by the way, wrestling for 4 straight months on an injured back, separated discs in his back, and a fully blown out knee across the board. Had a tightened up enough brace and injections in his knee long enough to do 2 back-to-back appearances, matches at Mania. First night, last match, second night, first match, back-to-back. Full-blown actual matches that went, the first match went about 22, 23 minutes. Night 2 went about 12 minutes or so with Drew. And then all the shit in the main event with Cody. But he was on a fully blown out. You think that Kevin Owens, the guy who will throw himself off the top turnbuckle into a pile of chairs, is going to have a neck injury and go, well, I guess I'm just going to have to leave now, instead of, well, just keep me on the shows just to do the promos, but don't actually have me take any bumps until the night of the match, and then after the match I'll go away for the surgery? Come on. You think Kevin, who's so close with Cody Rhodes, who had a blown out pec, who wrestled a Hell in a Cell match for almost half an hour, you think Kevin's going to look at that and go, and the daredevil, by the way, the daredevil that Kevin Owens is, and you think he's going to look at Cody and go, well, my neck's been really bad for 4 months, and just 2 weeks for the biggest show of the year that I've been building up all my storylines and my heel turn for, to finally pay off, to where I get my comeuppance and get punt kicked by Randy for a sold-out crowd in Vegas for the biggest pop ever, for the first punt in years. I'm just going to say no 2 weeks prior. It's a work. Come on. It's a work. It's a work.
I hope you're right. But, I don't know, to go back to what you were saying, when have we seen the on-screen general manager come out and address this? And I said Finn Balor and Mick Foley, when Finn Balor had to relinquish the Universal title. What was it, 2015 or 16 or something like that?
Yes, and that's fair, because he had to relinquish it the very next night. But normally a champion that has held that belt longer than a day always does what, guys? The old fabled, take it off, look at it, look at the crowd, lays it in front of themselves in the ring, and walks off. Kevin is not a champion. This was too set up, with too many things going on, from Nick Aldis being out there, to Randy interrupting the exit, the passing glance, the too long lingering of Randy selling the regret of their friendship, and I just silently hope you get better, to then Randy just going, oh, I can't believe this, RKO. Why? If it's such a serious, career-threatening injury, why would you end it with an RKO to end the segment, a serious segment like that?
A couple weeks left for WrestleMania. Randy Orton.
That's what I'm saying. This has to be an angle. He doesn't have an opponent, but it wasn't Nick Aldis.
Randy Orton doesn't have an opponent, so you have to have Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I mean, you can't just not have Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
But that's what I'm saying. This has got to be an angle to where Kevin's going to try to blindside Randy or screw him over, or Nick's going to go, I'm going to give you, since you RKO'd me and you're so angry, come on, Nick, give me an opponent for Mania. I'll give you a mystery opponent at WrestleMania. I'll give you a mystery opponent. And the mystery opponent, watch Kevin Owens comes out, tries to attack and blindside him, and then we get the return of Sami Zayn. Like, it's so easy to see all the ways they can go with it.
Hold on, slow down. So,
Like,
okay.
come on.
It's a work. Let's say it's a work.
It's got to be a work. It was too staged. It was too staged tonight to not be a work.
Then what?
Then what? Randy bitches and moans that he's not on the Mania card anymore. Come on, I worked all the way to get here, Nick. You RKO'd me, so how about this? You get a Mania match against a hand-selected opponent of my choosing, and it's going to be a mystery opponent, and you're going to find out when you get in the ring. That's your punishment for RKO'ing me. That's probably what it's setting up.
And who is?
And then Randy's going to... It's probably still going to be Kevin Owens. Or some guy, whomever, is going to walk out to be his mystery opponent, and Kevin's going to beat the shit and attack that, whoever that is on the stage, and then take their spot against Randy at Mania to throw him off his game. He's going to try to screw him over, and then we're finally going to get the return of probably Sami Zayn, who's going to make sure Randy wins and punts Kevin's head off his shoulders.
You mean like when Cody returned at Mania?
It was, exactly. Only everybody suspected Cody because it was the rumor that he had signed with WWE for like the whole 3 days prior to the appearance. The best, worst kept secret. So, like, come on. It was too staged. Because if I'm booking a serious, WWE company guy like Kevin, and he's got to go out there and give a real serious goodbye, I'm going to let him have his moment with the fans. Not set up Randy coming out, not set up fucking, Nick Aldis. It's the same thing with Mark Henry, his fake retirement. What happened? John Cena came out. The moment John Cena came out, I had a feeling in my gut, this is a swerve. Why John Cena, of all people, was going to come out here and interrupt this man's goodbye speech? He'd been wrestling in this company longer than John. Why would you interrupt this company lifer unless they were going somewhere with it?
I hope you're right, but let's go with Toxic and then Tommy.
So a little bit after the show, I was thinking, man, this sucks. Randy's not going to be on the Mania card. But then I thought of a good way. What if... So, we always talk about the young talent on both WWE rosters. What if we run Randy and Carmelo Hayes back for the millionth time back, and we give Carmelo Hayes a WrestleMania moment where Randy puts him over, and it just gives Carmelo Hayes a time to shine. I would be down with that.
Yeah, but
they haven't booked him to earn it.
Yeah, but not only that, that's something you do. That's not something you do at a WrestleMania.
Well, still, it was an idea. But anyways, I personally don't think it's a work, but I know Mr. Blood's going to unmute and go, yeah, it's definitely a work. But I don't think it's a work. I think it's fully true. But then again, anything's possible. This is the WWE. Anything's possible in professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy?
As much as I would hope that this is kayfabe, I don't think it is. Because that ladder, that's what he was referring to when he said 4 months ago, was that ladder. Was that 2 months ago?
Rumble was only 2 months ago. That's why I think this is bullshit. 4 months ago is December.
What about Cody's match?
The Rumble was in February.
Is that when he wrestled Cody?
Yeah, that was February.
Oh.
That's why I'm thinking it's bullshit. 4 months ago was the end of December. It's April 5th.
Yeah, but if he's going through that and he's saying that he didn't know how bad it was, it's a possibility that ladder shot made it worse. Especially with how long he stood on his head after that hit.
I mean, again, it is possible. If he's legitimately hurt, I do wish him the best. There's a good old fashioned quote: "If you're going through hell, keep going." So I wish him the best. But at the same time, the timeline doesn't add up. Who was he feuding with 4 months ago? Because he and Cody, because they had that ladder match. But who is Kevin feuding with in end of December, beginning of January? I think it was still Cody, but they hadn't had any physical, major, massive altercation. In fact, Kevin wasn't even in wrestling matches. He was selling the fact that he had been kicked out and sent home from WWE at the beginning of the year, sending in all of his promos via video from his car. He hadn't been in a match to be injured 4 months ago.
I mean, there were a couple altercations, though, with Cody, with Randy, with Sam.
Yes, but none of them required him taking. He didn't take any bumps on his head or neck in any of those altercations. He scurried out of the ring and ran every single time. They never actually laid him out to stand tall.
Pile driver and then run. That is true.
Exactly. He never took a bump at the. He didn't take a single bump at the end of December, or a single bump in the beginning to middle of January. He didn't have a single televised match in any of that time. He almost went an entire month and a half without a televised TV match until the Rumble.
Yeah.
4 months ago?
Ability that his timing is wrong, but he still might have a little bit of issues because of.
And it's very possible. And if that is the case, I wish him the absolute best speedy recovery. Thank you for your sacrifice in the business, because I get it.
I just got to point something out real quick. Tommy, you look like you're cutting a promo from like the boiler room or something, like getting ready to fucking set up for your own WrestleMania match right now.
The boiler room brawl.
Only lighting I have being a motion activated light above me.
Hey, it looks great, man. It looks great.
That's
like,
motherfucker looks like Edge when he was cutting the promo for Finn Balor at WrestleMania 39.
Back in the day,
He just needs a purple tie and a little bit of purple lighting.
Candles. He needs the candles with him.
It looks dope. Hey, we should probably do that for like one show one time. Like, set up your own little promo area. And so it looks like we're just cutting promos on each other or something crazy.
Actually, you know what it reminds me of? I feel like you're cutting a promo from Raw Underground during the pandemic.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on because we got one last thing that I want to go over really quick. Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman in a last man standing match. Tommy claims that some of us have been claiming this was going to happen. Jacob Fatu is the number one contender. And he's going to go on to WrestleMania to face LA Knight for the United States Champion. The right guy won this match on Friday Night Smackdown. I'm pumped to see Jacob Fatu. And I think we're going to get a new U.S. champion. Jacob Fatu is going to go for it. If, of course, Solo doesn't decide to be like, hey, I got this, Jacob. I'm gonna bring the title back home to the family. I have a feeling that's going to happen. I don't know why, but... for now, it looks like Jacob Fatu is gonna be the one to wrestle LA Knight at WrestleMania. I think who went first last time? I can't remember. It was BT, right? All right, Blood, you're back.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be nice here because this involves LA Knight. I'll go second. I'll let BT go first because he said he wanted to go first on this one.
All right.
There, why thank you. You really weren't kidding when you told me that I am your favorite Aussie, were you?
I promise you I never lie to you, mate.
Oh, fuck me. Alright, well, last man standing match was fucking incredible. I loved every single second of this match. The right guy won. The only thing that pisses me off is that is that it can go two ways. Either Solo and Jacob have an altercation and it costs Jacob at WrestleMania, causing Jacob to lose his first match in WWE, or Jacob wins the US title and LA Knight has basically been a transitional champion because of the booking that they decided to have Shinsuke Nakamura win the fucking title last year, do nothing with him, and then hot potato the title back to LA Knight just so they could set up this feud for WrestleMania. That is the only disappointing thing that I have about this. So you can do it two ways, but I will be fine seeing Jacob win that US title. I just wish LA Knight wasn't a fucking transitional champion. Because that's basically what you made him. That's basically what you booked him as. When you should have just fucking booked Shinsuke Nakamura better when he had the US title in the first place. I was excited because of how they repackaged him and how quickly LA Knight lost to Shinsuke as well. Like, it was under 10 minutes. What, was it even 5 minutes? I can't even remember. It was quick. So to beat him in quick succession, to do nothing for 4 months or 5 months that he had that title, is kind of criminal to me. And then the fact that you have to have Jacob Fatu win at WrestleMania as well, somebody that you have been heavily pushing as this monster, it just disappoints me that both men need to win this. Both men need to win this. But I don't know which option is safer. Do we give it to Jacob, or do we give it? Do we let LA Knight keep it and have a proper run with that title? Because he's been showing up every week. He's been doing a lot of things with that title. And the fans absolutely love him. But also, Jacob is a rising star. And he has been getting a lot of face reactions as well. So do we build on that and build the story with Solo and Jacob? Or do we just put the title on him straight away? That's my only concern about this whole thing. So, but either way, I'm very excited to see that match at WrestleMania. So
when it comes to this, I have one massive concern. The match itself, awesome, great. I like and I hate that Braun Strowman's in that phase of his career where he's going to be the reliable veteran that, takes the pen to put the other guy over. Because when I mean, at one point he was the most overactive in the company, the monster among men. I mean, this guy was someone that Roman just could not beat, right? And it's kind of funny that at one point Roman could not beat this guy, and now Roman is beating everybody. And so to see where he is booking wise now, it's a little weird to me. But that being said, the right guy won. What worries me about this match at Mania, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, it is a double-edged sword. Double-edged because you either give Jacob the title too fast, and then obviously we've all got to sit through a dissension story between Solo and Jacob, and I don't know how many people really want to see that. And then you have the other double-edged sword where I feel like having LA be the first guy to beat Jacob at Mania, as much as people love LA and they love Jacob right now as the shiny new toy, my fear is that this is going to turn the fans on LA Knight. If he beats the rising star, the new shiny toy, retains at Mania, because I think everybody will agree that this run has been a little boring because it was a hot potato back to get it off of Shinsuke after his brother passed. And they never should have taken it off him in the first place and just tried to build more with his run and make it interesting instead of taking it off them to put it on Shinsuke, just to put it back on him. We could have had LA on a nice somewhat long run. And on that long run, they could have booked it better for him to have better challengers, better defenses, more defenses, and they didn't. And I'm worried that because Jacob has become the new absolute favorite thing on SmackDown, he's like the one thing people love on SmackDown other than Roman showing up and CM Punk popping in for a cup of coffee. But it's really Jacob is the most over guy on SmackDown, in my opinion, right now, bar Randy. But if LA beats him at Mania, when everybody right now who's a massive fan of Jacob feels like he needs the win, he needs the title, give it to him. He's a rising star. Don't be the John Cena to his Nexus kind of thing. And I'm afraid this will turn the fans on LA. That if LA wins, I'm worried that if LA wins, the Las Vegas crowd is going to boo him. And that worries me. Also, and here's another thing. I'm really worried that this is going to turn to some kind of triple threat before Mania with Solo, Jacob, and LA. Because that just feels like that's a way they could go. But at the same time, I don't want to see Jacob versus Solo and dissension and I'm the champion. And I agree with Snug. I think they're going to try to use this as a way for Solo to try to get one over on Jacob. Be like, no, you won. I said I wanted you to win the shot for the family, but I am going to win the title for the family. And he's going to try to take a spot, and that's going to force Jacob to react. Or we could also get Solo and Tama both turning on Jacob, and Jacob goes off on a singles run, in my opinion, a little too early. Because he's only been with this bloodline for 6 months now, maybe 5. So, because he only came in very closely before Survivor Series, like September or some shit. Was it before that? I don't remember Jacob being in. Go ahead.
It was sometime. It was way before. I would say 4 or 5 weeks before Money in the Bank.
Are you sure Jacob's been with them since last summer?
Yeah, because they had a match against Cody, Kevin, and Randy at Money in the Bank.
Jacob fought
well, then here's the thing.
June 21st.
Okay, goddamn, I didn't realize it's already been that long. Well, here's the problem: is that if you break him from the bloodline now, okay, Tonga Loa is out on injury, so it's just Tama and Solo left. Okay, so then what happens to the bloodline story? We go out on a whimper. So the main bloodline, Sammy's out right now. Jay's doing his own thing, going on a singles run. Roman's caught up in a whole other thing. Jimmy's wrapped up in the Gunther thing. And so the OG bloodline is split in 15 different directions. And then the bloodline 2.0 is just come down to 3 guys with 1 guy on injury that can't ever seem to fucking not fuck it up. So no one believes in him anyway. Then you have Tama, who's kind of got an over catchphrase, and the crowd finds him zany. Then you have Solo, who has go away heat. And then you have Jacob, who is the one guy they want to see. But if you put the title on him, you automatically have to tell the dissension story between him and Solo, the breaking up of the bloodline. So the final story we get of the bloodline saga from 2020 to 2025 is the breakup between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. That's how we end the bloodline saga. Kind of a weak ass ending, if I do say so myself.
All right, Toxic, you're up, and then Tommy.
Hell of a fucking match. I feel like any match that it doesn't really depend on who. If it's stipulation where Extreme Rules, anything goes, street fight, unsanctioned, false count anywhere, anything like that, it's going to be good no matter who's in it. Mm-hmm. I said what I said. Agree or disagree, I don't care. And I agree with you, Snug. Fatu, I want Fatu to get the title because just why the fuck not? Mm-hmm. That's just my reasoning for a lot of things. But Jacob Fatu winning the United States Championship, I feel like is a big thing that should happen. Plus, that would also be a bad way to end the Bloodline story.
Mm-hmm.
It also undermines Solo. Jacob Fatu, who's been in the company less than a year, wins his first single title before Solo does.
Tommy?
So, I am right on this that Blood did say it, I believe it was like a month back, that Jacob would win it from LA Knight. But at the same time, I think he's right. It's too early. It truly is. Because just think about it. How many people, if Jacob Fatu actually wins the United States title, can he actually go against? The only one that I can truly think of is the man that he just beat the last man standing streak out of, which is Braun Strowman. These two have had amazing matches because of the fact that both of them have been known of the monsters of WWE. It's those two and Big Bronson Reed. But Bronson Reed is obviously out of that equation due to him being on injury since War Games. So the only man that even has a shot at beating Jacob Fatu for the United States title is Braun Strowman. And right now, I don't know if I want to see that again right now. Not for a bit. We've seen those two go at, 5 times now?
Yeah, a lot.
And as much as I love their matches, it's just becoming Randy and Carmelo again. Or Carmelo and Andrade.
That's WWE booking for you, though.
But it should be old WWE booking. We should be past that.
Yeah, we should.
Because I have a question for you, Snug. Let me ask this: because whether you're being sarcastic or you really do mean it, that you are a big fan of Solo. Let's just say that you aren't being sarcastic; you genuinely mean it, because I know it's your gimmick, right? Do you honestly think, from all the in-ring work, the way they have booked Solo in the ring, how they've shown us how he wrestles, how he works, his ferocity, do you think that the way that that he is in the ring, since even NXT, compares to the level of in-ring ability, ferocity, and monstrosity that is Jacob Fatu?
No.
Not even close, right? It almost feels like Solo is playing a vicious heel, and Jacob is a vicious heel. The man's also done time in the pin, for Christ's sake, in real life.
No, that's...
You believe he's an actual tough guy, badass, will chew you up, spit you out.
I think that's
you look
literally
at
what's
Solo,
happening.
and he feels like a teddy bear in real life. You look at Solo, and because you know who his brothers are, because you know his brothers are goofballs, because you know in real life Joe Anawahi, a.k.a. Roman Reigns, is in real life kind of a goofball. When you see the backstage way that Solo is, and in the interviews where he's trying not to crack up and laugh on talking smack and all of the shit from a couple of years ago, he's also a dad. He feels like a real goofball. So it's hard for me to buy him as this monster leader, right? That all these guys would fall in line behind. When you show me Jacob Fatu right there, and that guy looks like a real Samoan fucking monster, and feels like one.
Yeah, but let's think about other leaders, not just in wrestling, but like in movies in general. The leaders are not always the toughest or the most physically intimidating
Correct,
guys.
you're right.
Sometimes the leaders
You're
are
right.
the smartest ones. I mean,
You're very correct.
you can say Jacob Fatu, he's tough, he's bad, he's a badass, he's a gangster, he did time, but he's not as smart as Solo.
True, but when I look at them side by side, it also comes down to who feels like a threat.
Yeah.
In a physical sport like this,
Yeah.
who feels like the actual threat? Because you remember how they tried to sell us on Roman being afraid of Solo a couple of years ago? They tried to make us believe that Roman would be afraid of someone like Solo. No, I don't. I never bought that Roman would ever fear Solo. I do believe that Roman would actually have something to fear with Jacob.
Well, I'm just gonna leave it at this because I know Blood. You can sit here and talk about the bloodline for all night, but the way that Jacob Fatu has been booked, you guys say it's too soon. It's only been a few months or whatever. It has been, but this dude Jacob Fatu, since he showed up to the WWE, he's had one hell of a run. So I think it's time.
Oh yeah,
it's time for him to become United States champion. I'm sorry to all the.
but
LA
are you
fans,
worried?
but
Are you worried that it will screw LA Knight in the back end? That
Like,
he would if LA Knight. Are you worried that if LA Knight wins, he will get booed?
No,
Like-
they'll still cheer for him.
that at some point he will hold this. At some point, Jacob absolutely will hold this. Will hold the WWE title. There is no doubt about it.
I kind of feel like if he doesn't win that United States Championship, I could easily see Jacob winning Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. Other than that, we had LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. LA Knight defeated Tama Tonga. And we also had DIY versus Motor City Machine for a #1 contenders match. Motor City Machine Gun won, so they're going to be facing Street Profits for the tag team champions down the line. Blah. With that being said, my name is Edgar. I'm the host of the Snug Wrestling Podcast. That was the Smackdown review. One hell of an episode, I got to say. Thanks, you guys. Like always, it's a pleasure. And don't forget to leave a star rating and a review. And we will talk very, very